Are you a postpartum mom who is struggling with mental clarity or extreme tiredness and you just don't know how to stay awake? If that sounds like you, this episode is for you. My name is Leslie Urbis. I'm a registered dietitian and a personal trainer who, as you all know, is a selfless overachiever in recovery, helping other people like me to achieve the ability to wholly embrace themselves as who they are today. And I have an amazing guest today who is going to speak with us about this topic of having extreme mental fatigue or tiredness postpartum of having a baby. So please welcome to the show, Atara. How are you today?
I'm good, Leslie. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. I really enjoyed having our conversation before this. So for those of you, you're going to catch up here now, but we were really talking about, having a baby and just some of the things that come postpartum from having a baby that really just go overlooked. And I think a lot of that is coming now. I mean, if you think about it, my grandma had babies with like forceps, where they pulled the baby's head out or whatever, right? So
Yeah.
we have come so far, and I mean, my grandma is 90, so we have
Yeah.
come so far, but she did have her kids in her teens and 20s, so not that long ago, 70 years, 80, 60 to 70 years ago really is when she had them.
Mhm.
So we've come a long way. So I'd love to hear a little bit about your journey postpartum and just kind of what was going on that led you to doing this.
Yeah. So I have four kiddos, and the oldest is 8, and the youngest is 2. So we really just did the thing, right? They came really quickly. And with my first three, Leslie, I had pretty intense experiences. Firstly, they were each in the NICU. And that was we're talking about a little bit about birth trauma, right? That's a really
Mm-hmm.
traumatic experience. I also learned that was an indication that my body wasn't doing great because there was this impact and exchange happening. So that was a lot of trauma and quite a lot of processing. And then also there's this physical aspect of that babies require 10% of our mineral stores to grow and to flourish. And so we lose a lot of what is required for our body to function properly. And then on top of that, that's not even including breastfeeding, right? So you lose 10% of your stores. You're probably deficient, in some things even before that. Magnesium is a great example. A lot of us don't get enough magnesium. And then we're driving that deficiency even further. And then what this is going to cause are physical symptoms, but also some mental health symptoms. So for me, this really looked like pretty intense anxiety. And then what I also label as postpartum rage, which is a kind of a subset of anxiety when we feel like something is out of control or it's not going the way that we want. I love using the example of sleep, right? Baby's not going down, or baby's waking up, quote unquote, too early from the nap, and you're not getting the time that you feel like you need. There's and your minerals are depleted. There's going to be maybe an unrealistic reaction to the situation, and that's what I really saw within myself. It was pretty shocking, surprising, because one, I had never been an anxious person in my life. And I had never been an angry person in my life. Like anger wasn't just like something I really experienced. So when this shifted for me postpartum, it was pretty alarming.
Yeah, I would say so. I could understand that. I definitely experienced, I think, some more with my son not getting enough sleep, but I
Mm,
really attributed that to after 2 weeks. Nobody was there to help me. My husband was gone
yeah.
for 8 weeks after
Mm,
that. So it was just me
mhm.
and two kids for
Well,
basically 8 weeks, from 2 to 10 weeks of my son's life. And that was
wow.
just one of those kinds of things. But I think I got over it pretty quick. I did exactly what I did with my first. So
Hmm.
I totally understand, but I completely understand the lacking of help and support in this and almost just kind of what it was. And, it's just kind of
Hmm.
chalked up to like new mom pieces. So,
Hmm.
so what, so let's say somebody's experiencing this, this
Hmm.
new feeling. Where do you kind of go from there with them?
Yeah, so we really look at like the symptoms. What is going on with you? Because what is happening is going to dictate what we're going to start with. So, for example, if you're presenting with a lot of anxiety symptoms, feeling really overwhelmed, flustered all the time. I had a client say it this way, which I thought was perfect. She said, I feel like I'm constantly moving in fast forward, right? Like I am in where I'm at mentally, but I'm also 10 steps ahead, right? And I got to do this has to get done, right? In that fast forward mode. So that presenting with those symptoms is going to be really different than how we might approach low energy, depressive symptoms, pulling within, being disconnected. So with anxiety, right, we're going to try to bring those calming minerals in to help someone reestablish a sense of calm, reestablish this like peace, internal peace, which then flows from out of us, right? It starts internally and then affects everything around us. We know that babies are co-regulatory, meaning they tap into our nervous system. So the more calm that we can be, the more calm baby is also going to be. And that's a beautiful thing. But the opposite is also true. And I think I really experienced that with my first. I was really frazzled, flustered. There's the trauma that I hadn't processed yet. There's being a new mom, right? All of these layers. My brain is literally reshaping itself to learn how to be a parent and be responsive. And it was all very overwhelming for me. And so with that, we're going to start with something different versus if you're really low energy, if you are, which, hey, all moms, that is normal to some degree. And we can support that with good nutrition and minerals. And then there's kind of this other level of intensity. And I'm thinking of another client specifically where she was completely isolated, not wanting to go to any family events. She was not connecting with any family members or friends. She wasn't even taking calls from her parents. That's how withdrawn she was. And she wasn't able to complete any life tasks. So struggling to even get kids to school, struggling to make meals. We're going to really work on getting the energy back in her body, right? And so where we're going to start is a little bit different, but overall in the long run, all the foundations are going to be about the same. And I'm going to give you an example, Leslie, of a stressed state, because this is really important. I think we think of stress as anything big or major, but stress can also be just I woke up late and I'm running late in my day. I'm grabbing everything I need. I'm going through my checklist, trying to make sure I look presentable for my day, thinking about what do I have to grab if we're out for this many hours. And if you're me with a little bit older kids now, you're yelling at your kids, put on your shoes, right? Brush your teeth. This is a stress state. This is our nervous system has gone up into this fight or flight mode. And in this, your body is using up magnesium to support that neurotransmission. Your neurotransmitters trying to communicate. Your neuromuscular conduction, the ability to move my muscles smoothly, right, is using up magnesium. And I can go on and on. Magnesium's important for over 3,000 functions in the body. Magnesium has to exist. So that's a lot. That's a lot of magnesium being used up. Also, potassium is super important for being able to think clearly, utilizing our memory, not getting lost in the chaos of the moment. Calcium super important for if you're feeling extra irritable or stressed. This thing we call rumination, which is staying stuck on a thought for the rest of the day. Maybe you're in the afternoon and you're still thinking about that 15 minutes and oh, that went so horrible. I can't believe they didn't listen to me. And ruminating on that thought. That's a clear symptom that you're imbalanced and potentially need some more magnesium in your diet. And lastly, sodium is the other crucial four that we really focus on. And sodium helps keep our nervous system regulated. So I'm not sitting in the corner crying when I'm stressed out. I'm able to regulate to some degree to be effective in life.
Nice. And yeah, I think so. Two questions go from there. I'm assuming you assess the mental state first, because obviously, even though nutrition can play a part of this, it can truthfully just be a mental state of a person as well. Is that
Absolutely.
correct? Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and I really see them intertwined, but absolutely mental is really important.
Yeah. And then with the nutrition, do you draw labs or just start telling people what to take?
I have two wonderful partners in crime, and they're at the Holistic Collaborative, and they can do something which is called an HTMA, hair tissue mineral analysis, which takes a little part of our hair and it gives us a snapshot of over 3 months time of what is going on with your mineral status in the body. And so for people who really love to see the hard data, they want to see it on paper, that's a great resource.
Nice. Okay, cool. Yeah, just curious because you said potassium and I'm like, to an extent with potassium, just because my dietitian self comes out and is like,
Sure,
you
of
got to
course.
watch the upper level too, but that's just
Exactly.
my,
And
yeah.
let me be clear, please no one go out and start supplementing calcium. I don't
Yes.
recommend that. We want to use what my approach is food source nutrition. So for something like potassium, I'm also not going to ever recommend taking that in a supplement form. What I'm going to say is I'm going to give you some great options for food source potassium. Coconut water is on the daily in my life or every other day, right? I am drinking it often because I know I need a lot of potassium. Sweet potatoes or regular potatoes are another great source for potassium. One that people don't talk about very often is bacon. There's a reason we're drawn towards bacon. It has a lot of potassium in it as well as B vitamins. And so that's a great thing to start my day with, is it always makes me feel great when I'm getting that bacon in because of the potassium.
Nice. Awesome. So if people are curious about what to learn and where to find you, where can they go?
Yeah, so I love being on social media because if you're not ready to work with a coach or financially it's not possible, I offer a lot of free information on Instagram and Facebook. So if this is something you're like, oh yeah, I just really do need to get more potassium in, you can go scroll there and look for a post on potassium options. And my business page on Facebook is Atara Parkinson, just my name. And on Instagram, I'm at atara.parkinson.
Awesome. Yeah, we will link those below the show as well, so that way you guys can grab those if you'd like to go give her a follow. For sure, definitely if you're struggling with this, it sounds like a great way to help. Anything you
Yeah.
want to leave the audience with at all?
Yeah, just that minerals are foundational, meaning whatever you're struggling with, whether it's a thyroid issue, mental health symptoms, maybe it's energy, like we talked about, a metabolic issue. Know that minerals are like this base layer, and you can start by getting your minerals in check, getting your minerals balanced, and then go from there. It's a foundational thing, and minerals impact every part of your system. So, your nervous system, your endocrine system, right? Your cognitive, neurological functions, all of them are connected to mental health. I'm
Awesome.
sorry,
I
sorry,
love it.
connected to your body and minerals.
That's all right. Both, really,
Yes, both.
It's
Yeah.
all together, just like we said in the beginning. So
Yes.
for those of you, again, please go like and share and follow her. And for those of you watching here, please like, share, subscribe, and follow here as well. And we will see you guys on the next episode. Bye
Thanks,
for now.
Leslie.